How do you value yourself? Whether you're a business owner or whether you're working in corporate America or wherever you happen to be employed, I think it's really important that you stop and think about what is your actual value. And this comes in really handy when it comes time to negotiate. When you're in corporate America, especially if you're in a revenue generating department, it's pretty easy to calculate. For instance, before I started my own business, I was aware of the exact amount of money I was bringing to the table through my sales efforts because I got a report. And one day, and you would think it would take longer for me, you would think that it wouldn't take this long for me to figure this out, but one day I started looking at the number that was my goal. I started looking at how much I was actually bringing in, which was above my goal, and I started looking at my paycheck. And it just was not in alignment on any shape, form, or fashion. And so it's important for you to know what you bring to the table. If you're in a position where you save your company money, start to document where the actions that you took saved the company money. Maybe you did something that saved a potential lawsuit. Maybe you brought in a new employee that saved them cost-cutting initiatives or something. So start to think about the value that you bring to the table. That way when you're negotiating for a raise, you're not just saying, well, I've been here for a year, inflation is 3%, I should at least get 3%. You can actually come to the table saying, you know what, I deserve a 10% raise. That might sound crazy to you, but here's the reason why I deserve this. And you know what? I've done a little bit of research and your competitor is willing to hire me right now at that rate. What do you want? So from a corporate perspective, know what you bring to the table. Now, when you have a business, it's a little bit different. Now, I can only speak from my space. I'm a professional speaker, and so in my space, it's probably a little strange compared to where other people are because I'm actually a commodity. When people come to me, they're looking for usually a technology speaker. There might be 3 of us presented. One's a spotted calf, one's a black calf, one's a white calf. Here's the fees, you choose one. Now for me, it wasn't an easy road. When I first started off as a speaker, I would take whatever people gave me because I thought it was insane that someone would write me a check to stand up and talk for an hour. I was so young. Then I actually met my first speaker mentor, Karen McCullough. I'll go ahead and share her name because she was such an amazing influence. And I remember when we sat together and she sat through one of my programs and she said, you give these organizations so much value. I don't want you to ever charge anyone less than $3,000. Now this was years ago at the beginning of my career, but I remember the impact of thinking, I'm going to have to tell someone that they need to pay me $3,000 to talk on a stage for an hour? Now that's not a problem because again, that was years ago, so I'm in a different space. But you have to understand the value you bring to the table. And what she helped me understand was the type of information I was giving these companies was actually revenue producing. I was talking about technology marketing strategies. I had clients that wrote me testimonials talking about the money they received from advertisers, the increase because they had an increase in traffic to their website. So I knew the value I was creating for others, so it made it easier for me to set my own value. That's why it's so important for you to know what you bring to the table.